Many of us are really fighting? Come on now, how many of us? Come on, how many? How many now? Not a lot of us. Not a lot of us doing anything for real. This kind of slave labor goes through the generations. One generation after another is subject to this slave way of life in what is called a free world. In order to keep these black people in this type of slavery, the owner has a mounted guard patrolling the plantation with a gun lying across his lap and his saddle on his horse to see that there is no black interference from the outside to entice the enslaved blacks on the inside of his plantation to come in a better area for better wages. These people grow up there and die there on the plantation. Some of them never know civilization. They are satisfied because they know no other life but the slave life that their fathers and grandfathers have been living under. We hear this kind of slavery goes on not only in Greene County, Alabama, but in other states such as Mississippi and Georgia. Now, you know what I mean? My point in all is this right here, you know what I mean? Don't we waste time fighting? Don't we? Some of the stuff that already been forged, some of the stuff that we really don't have to say a lot to because behind closed doors, we still gonna be a nigga. You get what I'm saying? We still gonna be a nigga. And when I said behind closed doors, I mean the races that have the corporation you work for. You still a nigga. You get what I'm saying? You still gonna be a nigga to that racist that run that corporation. Now, why don't you figure out how to get in that company and run that corporation yourself? Why don't you get amongst people, like-minded people, invest some money and build a corporation? You understand what I'm saying? Most of our leaders of today supposed to have wealth. You know, when I look at Oprah, when I look at Gayle King, when I look at, if I pronounce her name right, Ivana Yesvant, you know, she's a social, she's a, how to put it, you know what I mean? She sit down and correct mental issues in couples and individuals. You got what I'm saying? She's very smart woman, you know what I mean? And what about, like, you know, when you take people like these anyone of real wealth, because I ain't gonna just point the finger at a rapper. I ain't gonna just point the finger at an NBA player, a baseball player, a basketball player. Anyone of real wealth. Why haven't you built a corporation for minorities? Why haven't you? You understand what we're going through. You already understand why we're going through it, but you're not solving the issue. Give me an understanding. And see, that only goes back to me saying to myself, you look like you of the culture. You talk like you of the culture, but you don't walk amongst the culture. You get me? You don't walk amongst the culture. So how can I believe you're for the culture? How can I? Come on now. How can I? There's no way possible I can sit there and say you're for the culture because I haven't seen a corporation yet that is black owned. I haven't seen it yet. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments so I can go research it. And if I'm dead wrong about this, I'm going to apologize. If I'm right about this, let's put some action on it. Because as I said once before, these young black kids in these sections of your city, your state, that's of poverty, what do they have to count on? What? Most of these jobs in Richmond, Virginia, they're at will. You know, these businesses, they're at will companies. They're privately owned. You could wake up one morning and go to work and be fired for nothing, let go for nothing. And if they really want to be nasty, because I know what the jigaboo, the nigaboo gonna tell you. Well, you can go and apply for your unemployment. No, sometimes you can apply and don't get it. I was in my right. You got what I'm saying? I was in my right at a particular job I was on. They denied me my unemployment. I appealed it, and they still denied me my unemployment. So don't tell me you can count on unemployment. Now, when are y'all going to do this? When? You're so much, I'm going to say this to you, right? I'm a man of intelligence, of knowledge, of ideas, but I have no wealth. Not no real wealth to do the things I speak of. But you shoot me down, you talk about me, you ridicule me, you block me, you put every stumbling block in front of me to keep me from moving ahead. You scared of me, ain't you? You're very scared of me, ain't you? Because see, if you ever place the right amount of money in my hand, believe what I tell you, you're going to see a difference in Richmond, Virginia. You're going to see a difference come from out of Mosby Court. You're going to see a difference come from out of Jackson Ward. You're going to see a difference come from out of Hillside. You're going to see a difference. You get me? A difference in those kids of poverty. And as you see now, if you ever in Richmond, Virginia, and they show themselves, you got the other race in these slums, in these projects of poverty. You get me? You get me? So when I say I want to help, it's not just the black culture. There are little white kids that's less privileged. There are Asians less privileged. There are Arabics less privileged. It's a melting pot in the projects also. At one time, the most dominant race that was in these projects, in these poverty areas, was what? Black. Africans. You feel what I'm saying? African Americans. Things are changing, so you need to wake up. Things are changing. And when I say the war is not just on the black community, it's on humanity. You feel what I'm saying? It's on humanity. But don't we as speakers, as leaders, we have to really focus on the race, on the culture you are? Come on, man. Wake up. You got what I'm saying? It shouldn't take a Mexican to come in Welcome Court and build that up. It shouldn't. You get what I'm saying? If I'm correct, Danny Alvaro Almeida, he's a Mexican. He's a Spaniard. You get what I'm saying? A Spanish. He's Spanish. You get what I'm saying? It shouldn't take him to build Welcome Court up. It just shouldn't. These people grow up there and die there on the plantation. Some of them never know civilization. They are satisfied because they know no other life but the slave life that their fathers and grandfathers have been living under. We hear this kind of slavery goes on not only in Greene County, Alabama, but in other states such as Mississippi and Georgia. Years ago, when I was a young man in Georgia, I heard that such slavery on large plantations was going on in certain areas in Georgia. Our people will go to farm there, and the poor man probably owes another white farmer. And this white farmer pays the debt that he owes the other white farmer, and then the black man becomes the balance of his and his family's life on the plantation of this white man who paid the debt to a previous white plantation owner. As long as he lives, he never pays that debt. This is the worst injustice and the most cruel slavery of all. Now they showed you that in Roots, how they take slaves and if you owe a debt to another person, you get what I'm saying? That slave is passed on. You get what I'm saying? To someone else to relieve a debt. So when we get into, into barter and trade, you get what I'm saying? Come on now. There was things back then that you know what I mean? Like you wasn't getting paid for. You was clearing your debt. And it's a shame to say that you could sell a human. You could sell a human being. You feel what I'm saying? You could sell a human being. So I say this to you once again, you know what I mean, to you women out here, to you parents out here. Why do you have an abortion and sell your kids? Why? Why do you do that? That doesn't, for the black community, that doesn't take you into slavery. Or does that just take you into the now that, okay, I'm going to compromise this, I'm going to compromise my 100% knowledge, wisdom in the African community, what I stand up in, but I'm going to have this, not abortion, but I'm going to have this baby, I'm going to sell this baby off. Come on, man. Come on, I'm not saying you're selling your baby into slavery, but isn't that the same process that was going on in slavery? The presentation just a little different, right? Cool. They are shot and killed or beaten to death if they are found trying to leave the plantation. The white owners make other blacks on the same plantation under fear be their informers of what is said and planned by other blacks. It has been told to me in my younger life that certain rivers, lakes, and wooded wilderness-like places carry the bones and skulls of many black slaves from these plantations and so-called freedom times in the age of abolished slavery by the law of this government and world. I'm going to end this reading right there. You got what I'm saying? And I just want to say this to you, I'm hard on the black community because I'm of the black community. And all we have ever done was live out the crab and the barrel theory, the monkey and the barrel theory. When are you going to stop being a monkey? When? When are you going to stop taking your brother, your sister down? When? When? And I'm going to say this to you again, you know what I mean? You're not going to disrespect me. You feel me? Disrespect shouldn't come from my brother. Respect should come from my brother. Respect should come from my sister. But this is what we do in the black community, beat on each other, right? We beat on each other, and it's proven, and it's history all across America. I don't see other races beating on each other. I don't see that. I don't. If it does happen, they're very good at concealing it. You get me? Mexicans showed me something, and every black person here, probably every culture here in Richmond, Virginia, what they're about. They'll put 50 Mexicans in one apartment. All of them got to pay $1 rent. You know what I mean? All of them, let's just say the rent $50. They'll put 50 Mexicans in one apartment, and they'll check every week is probably $200-300, but they ain't got to do nothing to pay $1. That one person ain't got nothing to do nothing to pay $1. Let's say the check $250. You brought home $250. That Mexican has $249 the last to the next week. To the next week. So when you add that up every month, come on now, when you add that up every month, $249 times 4, that Mexican just saved $996. You get what I'm saying? Let's say that Mexican take 500, send it back home. He's left with $496, right? Right? You think they can't make it off $496 for the whole month? Come on, man. They can. They can. What do you think they have waiting for them back home when they're ready to go? What do you think they have waiting? They have a lot waiting for them. What do we have waiting right here in America? Nothing. You don't even understand Social Security. You're at the point, America is at the point they're going to do away with Social Security. So what do you have now? What do you have to depend on? And I guess you say to yourself, okay, with everything going in the world, I ain't going to even live that long. I ain't going to even live that long. Whom you pray to might prove you wrong. You get me? Whom you pray to might prove you wrong, so that the generations under you can see that you are who? Who are you then? Who are you to the generation under you? Come on now. I say this, our government couldn't have been all that bad to structure a retirement plan. Couldn't have been all that bad. Because when you go into these other foreign lands, they don't have a structured retirement plan from all of their income that they go on a job and work. You feel what I'm saying? They don't. They don't have that. They may, things may be progressing where they're doing it or they're structuring it now. But when you look at the old way of these foreign countries, they had no retirement from out of your income that was structured. They give you land. You get a piece of land from birth. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, you've been with the nasty pastor, and I just say this to you, once again, wake up. No, we don't have a lot. No, there's a lot against us. You feel what I'm saying? But go on, look in the mirror and change what about you, so you can change what is getting ready to happen to your kids. You can change what is getting ready to happen to your grandbabies. Because it's a pitiful person to have to bring a child in this world and don't think about their future. I'm out, and I love you.